covering recruiting and the transfer portal for the Razorbacks. This is Inside Arkansas Recruiting with Dudley Dawson.
Welcome into the Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast. I'm your host, Dudley Dawson, sponsored by Go Lab Brewery. Excited to have a couple of great guests today. Coach Chris Young from Greenwood and Kane Archer, who's been in the news a little bit lately, or a little bit over the past 4 or 5 years, I guess. First of all, guys, congratulations on another great season. I know you are getting ready to play Benton this weekend. Just talk a little bit about, what kind of challenge that is and how y'all feel going in.
Yeah, I think we came in on Sunday and Coach had a good game plan. I was out in Utah and he dialed up a good game plan and came back and we had practice yesterday, put in the install and did all that good stuff, and we got a good game plan. Watched a little bit of film, and I think we're ready to go. It's going to be a really, really good matchup. So we're fired up.
Coach, talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of history between these two programs. Got great respect for Brad Harrison and the job he's done down there. We've played them in conference several years back, and then we've played them in the playoffs several times. So it's going to be a challenge. I think both teams are similar. Very good on offense. Both teams can run and pass the ball. And then on defenses, both teams are multiple and are going to make a challenge. So it ought to be a heck of a Friday night game.
And I guess the other semifinal as well, you're familiar with, obviously, Shiloh Christian a lot. Sylvan Hills has certainly had a turnaround. I guess both, you got to respect both of those teams as well as they fight to get in.
Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah, impressive what Sylvan Hills has done. We've got some history with Coach Kelly and playing them, and he's a great football coach, but that turnaround's really impressive. And then Shiloh Christian, I think they've been in the state championship game the last 6 years on different levels. So two really good football teams. That ought to be an exciting game as well.
Talk about, I guess it's 37. Y'all have won the last 37. Kane, you've never lost as a starter. But take me back to the Springdale Harbor game. That game pretty close. Y'all had some adversity. That probably will help y'all down the line.
Yeah, we were in a tight game, and we couldn't really connect as an offense and defense. The offense was good, doing good things at one time, and defense was doing good things at one time. And I feel like we've started to gel together since that. But that's really going to help us down the road in the playoffs for sure. I mean, you look at it, we're not in very many close games, and to be in a close game like that and have some adversity and go through some of that stuff, we'll be prepared for the playoffs if any of that arises. So I think that game was really good for us, and yeah.
I know a lot of the characteristics of the football team, and y'all are, I guess, trying to work on your 12th state championship since 2000. A lot of the same characteristics. How's this team maybe different from last year's team, Coach?
Yeah, we lost a lot of really good football players last year, on both sides of the ball, but especially on defense. We don't traditionally play a lot of sophomores, and we've got 6 sophomores right now that are playing a lot of snaps on Friday night, and that's tough at this level of football. But, we're getting into week 13 now, and so those guys aren't really sophomores, and you're starting to see some development for them. And I think that's the biggest difference from what you mentioned, Springdale Harbor and Bentonville West early in the year. The adversity, those young guys getting their first snap, I think you're seeing them starting to improve every week, and they're no longer playing like sophomores.
You had a lot of people coming back on offense, just a few on defense starter-wise, right?
Yes, sir.
Kane, talk about working with some of the guys who you've worked with over the years, but maybe who have stepped up into different roles this year and are really helping y'all out.
Yeah, you got Braxton Canada, who's a young guy. He's a sophomore as well. That he's had a big year. He's been hurt a couple games, but he's been there. I can trust him, and that's one of the guys to mention. You got all of my receivers. You got Champ, you got Cooper, you got Benton, you got Braden, you got Braxton. You got all the guys that they just work hard and they're there for you. They never complain. They're always giving you 100%. And then you got the offensive line who will literally die for me, So I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be around, better coaches to coach us. So yeah.
I was fortunate to grow up in Newport, Arkansas, where Bill Keaty had a great program. We didn't lose that much either. But talk about, it was just kind of a football community. Kane, you first. Talk about being able to play for the fans that are so supportive, and that's on and off the field for y'all.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. This place is unlike any other. You don't get the whole town coming to the game on Friday nights or the whole town shutting down or just stuff like that. They're so supportive and they would do anything for the football guys in the city of Greenwood. And I feel like that's really special when you look at it and you have the support from your whole town and you know that they have your back no matter what. And you get to playing from them on Friday night and they're just going nuts. I feel like it's somewhere that not every place is like this, and I'm extremely grateful to being grown up here and play football and play high school here, and I love it more than anything. I'm grateful to call it my hometown.
Coach, you've had a lot of great players come through there, but talk about the system as well. In that, back in Newport, back in the day, third and fourth grade, we started running what we were going to run in high school. Talk about the development of players over the years that has allowed the machine to keep going.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We talked about our community support. That's true with our football program from the Pee Wee level all the way through. We have a group of adults that focus on our development of our elementary PE program or Pitbull program, and they do such a great job of teaching kids fundamentals that then when those kids go to junior high, they're a step above, and our junior high does a great job of developing kids. They understand the focus is on getting those players ready for high school. It's nice winning junior high football games, but those guys do a really good job of putting those kids in position to be successful when they get to high school.
Hey, and you've had a lot of publicity on you for a long time. I think it was the first offer in the 8th grade. A lot kept coming. Talk about being able to travel a lot of places, meet with a lot of people. That has helped develop your game, and also just deal with any pressure or highlights and all that that you've been able to over the years. You seem like a very mature young man.
Yeah, I've been all over the country, and I've traveled with and trained and competed with everybody that is pretty much highly talked about. So I've played in big games since I've been 11, 12, and 13. So it's like I'm used to it. I'm used to the pressure, and it really doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't phase me, because there's still some level of pressure there that, hey, I got to perform, and I got to do what I do. But I feel like me growing up as a kid and it facing pressure and adversity so early at such a big stage has completely changed everything about me. So yeah.
Talk about the support staff you have around you. With your family, your coaches, and your players. It all seems to work in a kind of a fashion that is pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing that people don't really understand is the connection that we have. When I look to the sideline, it's like it's 2nd and 4, more on the 42-yard line. It's like I know what he's fixing to call, and so it's a huge advantage when I can be on the same page with Coach Hogan and Coach Young and Coach Hales, who's in the box, and it takes everything to a different level. And we're in here preparing 5 days a week, 4 days a week, and they're the best to do it. So I'm grateful to be put in the positions that I'm put in because of these guys and how hard they work. I mean, they're up here on Saturday night or Saturdays, and they're up here till Friday night after the game till 2 a.m. watching football and watching film and fixing stuff. Like, nowhere you go, you're gonna get that. So I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah, he's been really humble because I'll just tell you this. We've had some great ones. We've never had one that understands the game like he does. I've called offense here for a long, long time, and Coach Hogan has taken that over in the last few years. But Kane's literally calling plays on the field. We'll point to him and call a formation, and he understands the game so well. He could call the complete game right now, and he's just done a great job of making good decisions. He puts the ball in the right place and spreads it out to our other guys. And for his age, what he's doing, I haven't ever seen it before.
I have a few more questions I'm going to ask you, and obviously, I think that's some of the ones that the recruiting fans probably want to hear. But before we do that, I just want to tell about our sponsor again, Goat Lab Brewery. They have locations in Lowell and Fayetteville. The one from Fayetteville is at 1214 North Garland, just down from the stadium. It's been a great place. It started opened just as the season did here at Arkansas. As I said, 12-14, it's become a hangout spot before and after the games. Obviously, Arkansas has the 2:30 game with Missouri this weekend. They'll be open, have progressive wings, great craft beers and food, and something that I take it. My sponsors, I take it to heart. I go and have all the food, have all the beer, to make sure I'm giving the right the views and stuff. Back to recruiting a little bit. Obviously, you were committed to UCF for a long time. I think you were really happy with that. Then things have kind of changed. Talk to me about the situation. And I know you as you went to Utah this weekend. Kyle Whittingham's has a great program going out there, 9-2. You got to see a pretty exciting ball game, I guess, as well. Talk a little bit about kind of behind the scenes a little bit. Making the transition, at this point.
Yeah, Utah's a great program, and they have really, really, really good culture. They're 10-2, 9-2. They're ranked in the top 15 um, almost every year. So they're a really good program. When I went out there, it felt like a little bit like here. Like everybody was. It's kind of self-centered around football. It's good culture. When I watched the game, it was like they got down, but nobody gives up, and they're all together is I guess what I'm trying to say. They're all together. So Utah's a really good place, and yeah.
Talk a little bit about just the situation with what you want to do as a freshman in college. I assume you're an early grad and going to go in early.
Yes, sir, I am.
Just talk a little bit about what you'd like to accomplish your freshman year. And I mean, everybody wants to go start, but what do you think is going to be the biggest transitions between playing in high school and playing in college?
Yeah, I believe in myself, and I truly do. I feel like I want to go in there, and I don't want to set anything for myself. I want to go in there and I want to compete as hard as I can, and I want to try to work my way up as high as possible by competing and by learning the offense and doing the right things. That's ultimately why I'm going early. I want to have the best advantage for myself, to get to know the guys, to get to know the plays, to get to know what it's like to be in college, to get to know the speed of the game, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Coach, talk about his maturity, how it's going to help him. I mean, obviously, as he said, he's been in big stages for a long time. A lot of people have the talent, and not everybody has the mental acumen to do that. But it seems like he has, and has for a long time.
Yeah, I think he really benefited. We made the decision when he was a ninth grader to go ahead and move him up in our varsity program, and we had a returning starter that led us to the state championship game the year before. But we wanted him to be in that backup role to learn the offense for a year, and I tell you what, it was great for him. He just has such a complete understanding of the game, not only our offense, but it's like the game slows down for him, and he's just a great decision maker. He sees things before they happen. And in a quarterback, you want to have a great decision maker, and that's exactly what he is. He puts us in a good situation all the time, and when things break down, he's able to make plays with his legs and extend plays, whether it's with a run or with a pass. He's just highly intelligent. I think he's special in that area. I don't think we've seen one around here that way, and we've had some great quarterbacks, and they're all different. We don't use the word best around here, but his understanding of the offense, there's never been one better.
Okay, and talk to me a little bit about the physical tools that you have. But and I remember with you being on 4th and 5 with DJ Williams and explaining a lot of this. But going to the line of scrimmage, you have it envisioned in your mind. Obviously, there's changes going on up there. Talk about that being a big part of the football game. I think a lot of people just think quarterbacks walk up there, call the play, and they go, but that's not it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not so much at a high school level. That's usually what the case is. I feel like he said it a couple times already, but you don't want to just call a play and hope it works. You want to get into the best play. You want to get the best leverage. You want to get you just want to get into the right play. So sometimes, like, he'll call a play and I'll look over there and I'll be like, hey, I think this would be better. And that's why I feel like we work so good, because he'll be like, all right, I trust you. You see it, do it. And sometimes he'll be like, heck no, like, run the freaking play. So, there's a happy medium there in between of like, just get into the best play for us. Doesn't matter who it's going to, what it's for, like, just get into the best play. Let's get 4 yards and let's go to the next down. So, yeah.
For both of you, obviously, there's been some talk about your measurables, whether you're 6'1", 6'3", all that, how some people like bigger quarterbacks, but I think you gave a good explanation about it, and I want you to talk about this too, Coach. The height's cool, but the mind and the arm and the understanding of the game, talk about that, how it factors into it maybe more than, a couple more inches.
Yeah, it's performance versus potential. That's an argument that drives me crazy. Is in college, so often they're looking for the guy that can potentially do this or that, and we focus on guys that perform here, and that's what he is. I think he's an incredibly accurate thrower of the ball. Set a national completion record, national all-time completion percentage, and I think people are crazy. I think there ought to be a line at the door. Every school in the country ought to be fighting to get him. He is special, but he's 6'1" and special. And if they want 6'3", then I guess that's their loss. So he has all the tools. He's going to be successful wherever he goes. He's willing to do whatever he has to do to get on the field. And I think that's probably what's going to define him in the end.
Kane, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what he says. It's hard as a player to look at it and be like, "Hey, this coach doesn't want me because I'm 6'1", and all I've done is, not in a cocky way. All I've done is performed my whole life and put up good numbers." So it's like it's. I've had a hard time kind of understanding that and taking that on the chin. Like, hey, like not everybody wants you. Nobody, no, like no matter how much stats you put up, no matter this, like like you said, it's potentially can you play. And some places are like that. So it's been a learning curve for me for sure. But in the end, it's who wants you, what place wants you for who you are and how you play the game. So I feel like I've chose a place obviously now that is that way.
Dudley, the coaches at Utah, made an interesting comment about him. They said, Kane, when we turn on your highlight film and then we turn on your game film, it's the same film. He's so consistent with his performance that you just flip in his last ball game and you would think it's somebody's highlight film. And I think that's really the special thing about him. His consistency, making plays, performing. And whether that's him being accurate throwing the ball, whether that's him winning running the ball. He's just incredibly accurate, incredibly consistent, and he's done it for 3 years now. I mean, 37-0 as a starter. After this next game, he'll have thrown for 10,000 yards and rushed for 2,000 yards, and he'll be the first high school quarterback in Arkansas history to do that.
Now obviously I think I've covered 40 football seasons up here. This is probably one of the two most interesting, and I'll just leave it at interesting. And how it's gone about. Obviously, everybody's sitting around here waiting to see who's the next head coach. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Kane, but are you going to? I mean, I know you're solid in your commitment to Utah, but are you going to be curious about the new guy coming in? And is Arkansas still a possibility, albeit you're very solid with Utah?
I'll say this. I've grown up in Arkansas my whole life, and I'd be lying to you if I told you on Saturdays I didn't turn on Arkansas football and watch it because I'm from here and I'm a fan. So I'm excited to see who their next coach is, but in the end, I'm committed to Utah. I feel like that place is special. They know how to win. They know what the culture needs to be like. They know they know what it is. They've got it all figured out. So that's really all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like, again, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but obviously that's the elephant in the room around here at Arkansas. Thank you both for joining me. I'm looking forward, wherever you play, I'm looking forward to watching it on TV or watching it in person, whatever. And Coach, thanks again for all the years that he's been there and the other quarterbacks that I've covered that y'all had down there and football players, and just appreciate y'all stopping by.
Well, we appreciate what you do for high school football and high school athletes, and enjoy watching your show.
Thank you so much.
You bet. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Certainly want to thank Kane Archer and Greenwood head coach Chris Young for stopping by. Really enjoyed catching up with them, and obviously got to hear some thoughts from Kane on his recruiting. We'll continue to monitor that situation as we wait to see who the head coach is at Arkansas. During that taping, Oklahoma State announced its hiring of Eric Morris, the North Texas coach who's done so well this season. So we can take him out of the Arkansas mix. That probably accelerates the decision here at Arkansas, or the announcement of the decision. Before we get out of here on that, there's some other notes I wanted to touch on today's episode. Also, while we were taping, Ben Mubinga, an offensive lineman from Buford, Georgia, 6'3", 285. He had been a commitment to Arkansas. He has recommitted today. A guy who has offers from Michigan, LSU, Auburn, Oregon, Missouri, Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, Florida State, but he has decided to recommit to Arkansas. That is a great get or re-get, however you want to put it, for Arkansas offensive line coach Eric Mateos. You think that whoever the new guy might be might want to keep him along, because he has 4 outstanding offensive linemen that are now in that class as Arkansas gets back up to 13 commits. The other 3 are Tucker Young, the outstanding offensive tackle from Hot Springs Lakeside, Hugh Smith, an offensive tackle from Missouri City, Texas, Ridgepoint, and Ashley Walker from Hollywood, Florida, Chaminade Madonna High School. All those are now in the fold of the current 13 commits. A couple of other notes: Ja'Cory Smith, who had been long committed to Oklahoma, a linebacker from Bryant, 6'1", 195, decommitted from Oklahoma on Monday. He has reopened his recruiting. He's looking at Arkansas, SMU, and Memphis, where he has a visit planned. Obviously, Bryant playing in the state championship or state semifinal championship, trying to get back to the state championship again this year, this weekend. And he's an outstanding player. One of, I think, six or seven Bryant players that have a have D1 offers, and have committed to D1. Obviously, an outstanding amount of talent down there for Quad Sanders at Bryant. Also, Jordan Harris is an edge rusher from Maumelle. We had him on the show here earlier. His situation with Arkansas was kind of up in the air, I think, a little bit for a while. He has been reoffered by this current staff, and he was excited to announce that yesterday. And as you know, if you watched his thing on the show, he's an outstanding athlete all around. Hopefully that thing will work out. He'll get to play here at Arkansas. Also, one other thing, Braylon Edwards was cornerback from Duncanville, Texas, who had scheduled a visit for Arkansas this weekend, but he's now not going to make that for a couple of reasons. Number one, he is got a playoff game that would conflict with Arkansas and Missouri's game, and also he has now decided he's going to announce his decision on Thanksgiving Day there on Thursday. So good luck to him. That opportunity to chat with him, seems like a very nice young man, and root for everybody there in the future. So we're going to continue to monitor all these situations. We appreciate the guests and appreciate everybody watching and listening to the Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast, sponsored by Go Lab Brewery. As we said, locations in Lowell and Fayetteville, 1214 North Garland there in Fayetteville. Opportunity for y'all to get there before or after Saturday's 2:30 Missouri game if you want to. Outstanding craft beers, outstanding food. As I say, they do a really good job over there. Please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube video and also the audio podcast wherever you get your things. As we always say when I'm signing off, remember, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. Let's go out and try to make the world a better place by doing something good.